Welcome back to the National Hockey Centre here in Glasgow as we're getting ready for the final game of the day in Group A, and the big one for good travelling French support as well as the home fans. There's a home crowd for Scotland as they are up against France here. France, who came down from the first tier of the top table in the EuroHockey Championship, relegated in 2015, and we're trying to do that again. Let's get straight to the sides, and for France, well, it's a side filled with quality. With Charlie, the captain, top scorer at the World League in all rounds with 6. Real sense of the next phase coming through. 3 under-18 players in the squad, including Etienne Tynevez. He was here last year at the under-18 EuroHockey, starred in that, and has already been starring for the senior side. For the Scottish side, in front of the home crowd, well, of course, a couple of players in there, also part of the GB training squad, and Alan Forsyth and Chris Krasick, captain. Plenty of goals in there. Forsyth 15 in the World League, which was a great run to the semi-finals. Kenny Bain also with a good haul of goals in his career, including 8 in the World League. 156 caps now as well for Kenny Bain. Just a couple ahead of William Marshall, part of a real blend of experience and youth for Derek Forsyth, the head coach. So sides getting ready to sing their anthems. There's our little reminder of the scores for today. Wins so far for Russia, Wales and Ukraine. And this is the final game. Ukraine and Portugal are in this group with France and Scotland. Before all the action, it's time for a pause, and the anthem starting with the French. Well, sung both anthems. We talked a fair bit just before the anthems there about both sides, the French and the Scottish. Just another look at anyone late joining in just before we get underway. There's another look at the Scotland lineup. Talked about some of the big players, but we'll bring in a co-commentator for this one, Alan Meikle, who plays for Hillhead. Some great experience there, some great times for Scotland looking at that lineup. I was talking about Kenny Bain, the likes of him, Alan Forsyth and Willie Marshall. Some of the caps, Bain and Marsh particularly. Bain's only 27, 156 cap he's about 10. You know, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 players in the squad with over 100 caps. Quite a few of them with Great Britain experience as well, so it's a really exciting Scotland squad and a fairly young one, so all to play for here.
And the umpires for this one is Eduardo Lizana from Spain, Nick Bennett from England. Those are the two making the big decisions. What do you expect from this? Because France, Scotland, you know, should be a good game. 2 good teams. France are the top-ranked side here. We've had 3 decent games so far. Hopefully, don't jinx it with this last one.
As alluded to in the Ukraine-Portugal game, I think the key in the opening game of a group format is not to lose. I think we're probably going to face a more cagey affair where both teams will try and be fairly tactical and will play various systems against each other. I don't think it'll be as open-ended as the previous game until the latter stages of the game. Scotland definitely have an opportunity here to possibly create an upset, but looking at the French in the warm-up, they're not going to be a pushover by any means, but hopefully home advantage will be enough to see the Scottish boys through.
Yeah, you were saying that interestingly before we came on the air, you're really impressed by the French warm-up. What was so impressive about that?
Just the ball pace. I mean, it's easy enough to do that in the warm-up. If they can translate that ball pace into the game, it'll just give them that extra split second to make good decisions and to put their opponents under pressure.
It's going to be Scotland. You guys going there in white tops, from right to left. France in the blue tops. And it is Scotland and Alan Forsyth to get this in the way. A few nerves in the crowd. Lots of excitement as well. You know, a little while since the end of the World League. Both these sides have been in the semi-final. Scotland was a bit of a surprise, but played really well in the London stage. France were in Johannesburg. Both World Leagues ended for them, both in the semi-final stage. And now it's this EuroHockey Championship 2 to relish for both these sides.
Yeah, I think the experience of the World League playing against some of the top nations will really benefit Scotland now, come to play slightly weaker nations. I think the intensity will have up. They'll have seen the level they can go to.
Marshall very early on trying to sneak a little one for Kenny Bain.
Yeah, it's a very exciting forward line that Scotland have got there with Chris Grassick just holding up the middle. I mean, we know they've got goals in them, so if they can get them on the ball, they've got every chance. Wonderful pick up by Anderson there, under a lot of pressure.
You talk about the lineup, it's good to see Grassick back because he had his injury issues last year.
Yeah,
involved.
Out for a long time and a key player.
Alan Forsyth have talked up already the goals. Obviously very much why him and Grassick are part of the GB setup in the training squad.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed in that one, although it's early on. He's such a talented player that he'll be disappointed he didn't make that pick up.
Thoughts of Alan Meikle alongside myself, Callum Patterson, for this big game, the last game of the day. France looking to just tide things down and get some possession. Nice bit of play through. It was set on the far side.
A fairly comfortable save for the Scotland keeper there. Tight angle, but some good play through the midfield area. Here's Forsyth in the ball, breaking over the halfway line. Needs a bit of support though.
Just Charlie was just keeping him at bay. So we'll go backwards to try and go forwards. Good twist and turn. Tim Atkins. A good duel with Nicolas Dumont. Grassick. Nice move, nice play. McIntyre was along there as Alan Forsyth managed to get it. Straight at the keeper again, but saved and it's cleared.
Yeah, good first shot for Scotland. That's good to always get the first one away, but fairly comfortable save for the French keeper.
Arthur Tiffrey is the French keeper.
I think it certainly signals to the French defenders that you cannot give Aaron Forsyth any time in the D, because he will get a shot away given any opportunity.
So well, it's been given away here for Tynevez. Slipping in, Bressac, and away it went.
I think Willie Marshall will be taking a big sigh of relief there, because that was a pretty elementary error there, giving French a very good scoring opportunity. Scotland sitting quite deep here, just allowing French to come through.
There is Charlie once more. Peter Dutz. Nice play, Bressic. Ah no, it's slipped its way through, just going to squirm itself away, and well, one or two shakes of the head in the crowd, certainly from the Scottish supporter side.
That was a very good opportunity for the French. I mean, getting the ball baseline, a couple of players to draw back to, but well done for the keeper and defenders clearing it up.
Marshall having to try and get that away. Anderson helped it further, but not too far, so still not out of the defensive danger. France, good couple of minutes from Scotland from the start. France have edged their way into it now and keeping the ball.
Yeah, very good start by France. Very methodical, very composed. Look like they've got a game plan and they're going to stick to it. Wee bit concerned that the French strikers are getting to the ball before the Scottish defenders. Need to maybe front mark, otherwise it could be a bit of bother. Great pick up by Atkins. He looks like a powerful runner.
Yes, he's certainly been lively of late in the Scotland jersey. Did score in the playoff game against South Korea at the World League semi-finals. It was a 6-3 defeat in the end, but a little moment in London for him.
Yeah, quite a new addition to the squad, I believe, but it seems to be fitting in fairly well.
Yeah, plays for Redden, 27. It's only his 12th cap this evening.
Scotland have made almost like an ice hockey substitution here. All 5 players coming on, 5 players replacing them, so see how they settle into the opening moments.
Big space here for Charlie, who collects. Straight into Fraser. Certainly has probably been the quickest start of all the 4 games here today so far. Baumgarten goes wide. Back it comes for Belanger, one of the young under-18 players who played so well for the France under-18s, got promotion from the second tier of the under-18s EuroHockey in Glasgow in 2016 in the summer of last year. It's exceptional feat, and it's going to wriggle through, and it was Nicolas Dumont that was in space but smothered.
Yeah, it all looked a wee bit too easy there for the French, just opening up the Scottish defence, but a good reaction save for the keeper. Good off the ball movement to create the chance in the first place, so Scotland really need to be on guard here.
Dumont, one of the few in the French squad that play in Belgium with the Waterloo Ducks, has played for Belgium as well, but switched allegiances.
Lovely tuck in behind the back there. That's a good bit of French flamboyance.
Elliot Courty to Belanger. Nice for Kiefer. Again wriggling into a good spot. Another save. Rogier this time with the attempt at goal, and a very busy start for Alexander in goal.
Yeah, I think it's quite ominous when the keepers had more touches than any of your defenders, so hopefully he has a man of the match performance at this rate.
Here it is there. Save.
Maybe a wee bit unsettled, Scotland, with the 5 changes at a time. I know that's a modern way, but you know, a big tournament, maybe some nerves for some of the less experienced players showing here. Good hands by Michael Bremner there under a lot of pressure.
Twist on the turn, and Liam Morton was trying to find it. Interesting hairstyle.
Always a trendsetter, is Lee. still young enough to get away with it, I think. I think he'll look back though and maybe regret it, but we'll see. Yeah, the French really no hurry, just picking their passes, hoping to pull some of the Scottish players out of position and comfortably moving the ball into attacking final quarter.
Good support back, just patient stuff. Charlie again in space, recipient of that. Tidy from Belanger. Peter did the well, and now the run from Goye. Roger this time getting another shot. Player's whistle goes, but again, just a settled few passes, then boom, a couple of big long passes and half a chance.
Scotland are just going to have to match the French patience in terms of the defence. Don't dive in, don't take any risks, because they don't want to get caught in any major overloads. But the French look very comfortable. Good from Scotland though, coming through Riddle.
It's a French side that the core value of this French side has been together for the last 4 years. Gail Foulard, the head coach now, was the under-18s head coach, was part of the Junior World Cup in 2013. A lot of these guys came through then, so it's a group that has been predominantly together.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Establishing a team and sticking with it and getting the kind of team ethic going and all the moves known by everyone. Scotland team's fairly settled as well though, not many new additions to it. Another raft of changes for Scotland there.
Jamie Wong, Krasik, McIntyre. Krasik spotted in space down the channel. Forsyth just running out of space, but continues and quickly on with McIntyre.
Good use of the ball by Scotland.
Switch around of the channels. Krasik and further on Morton around. Oh, great wriggle room, great play. And excellent save.
Yeah, again, Alan Forsyth, isn't he? Yeah, it gets in the D, gets a shot on target. What more can you ask for? Other than a goal. French keeper lively though, cutting down the angle quite quickly.
Closest probably Scotland have come so far. T48 busy there. Hasn't been too busy so far in this first quarter.
Coach Forsyth seems quite settled at the side, barking out a couple of instructions, but quite calm as we speak.
Charlie in the change from Francois Goye. Doing really well to skip it by. And just took a little extra touch too many.
12 minutes gone, still no penalty corners for either side, so that'll be possibly a source of frustration for either coach. Be interesting to see if that might be what's needed to break the deadlock.
To watch tiny Vez there. Forward for Krasik once more. Bain. Krasik by hook or by crook will get it back.
Yeah, very good.
There it is this time. We talked about a penalty corner, and within 30 seconds you're answers have came by, and there is going to be the first one in the game for Scotland.
It was a really nice interplay. I think Gavin Byers there drawing it off the baseline, off the defender's foot. Great indoor player Gavin, based in Dundee at Grove Mings Hill. So using a nice wee wall pass there to create the set play opportunity. Watching the Scottish corner routine, Kenny Bain was flicking very well down to the keeper's left hand side, so it'll be interesting to see if they employ that now.
Gavin Byers heading across.
Yeah, I would say it looks like Kenny Bain here, number 13.
Bit of a switch.
Oh, it's not.
He's left it. Atkins saved, parried away.
Bit disappointing actually. Not a lot of power, straight down the middle, easy save for the keeper.
Bain's trying to help it his way a second time. Parks is around. Here's Grasic. Back with Jamie Wong.
Scotland settle quite nicely.
Grasic switching a change.
Great hands.
Dummied by Tynevez.
Good recovery though by the French defender, just Grasic pondering on the ball a bit too long. Just showing a return to the form that he had before his knee injury.
French look to try and twist it around, and now the space for Durant.
Great pressure by Ben Cosgrove there, just forcing that very threatening French attack backwards. Job done.
It's the hammer routine, which Atkins takes a sore one for. Set quickly. Roger cross and away into the last minute, just under that now, of this first quarter.
Yeah, fairly cagey affair as we thought it would be. I would say Scotland have probably finished the quarter the stronger team, but not a lot to choose. I think it might just take a moment of magic from one of the teams to open that deadlock, and that'll be a huge confidence boost for whoever that comes to.
Just missed by Morton, but might still work out in the final few seconds. Elite dash towards the goal. There is the hooter. So 0-0 after the first quarter. Not too many chances, as just mentioned there. Prediction before the game was could be a cagey start. In summary, it's been a cagey start.
Yeah, I think France started possibly the better team, showing a wee bit more composure possibly, but Scotland have come into the game really, really well. I think getting rid of the early nerves, some of the subbing, just to find your feet. I'd like to see Kenny Bain, Lee Morton running with the ball from a wee bit deeper, and certainly getting Alan Forsyth in the ball more in the day, because he's already shown himself to be quite the threat.
Well, let's see what we can find from that first period. There were certainly some early chances for the French. Dumont with one. So another one. It's coming from Blasey Roger. Up the other end for Forsyth. And then there was this penalty corner. But you said it was a bit tame in the end, this one.
Yeah, he lost balance, just a slip. I think looking at the chances, they were actually better chances than the final result showed. Most of the shots were actually directly at the keeper, so whilst the keepers may claim a good save, I think the strikers could have done a lot more. There was certainly more of the goal available to them, but that's the fine margins, I suppose, between scoring and not.
So 0-0 as it stands. An absolutely superb crowd in here in the stand at the National Hockey Centre. Touched on it earlier, I'm sure we'll touch on it more throughout the week, but it's this Commonwealth Games legacy, and just past the 3-year anniversary since the Glasgow Commonwealth Games. Scotland, Wales obviously part of the Commonwealth Games as well, but for Scotland hosting this and for the home support here, plus that Commonwealth and still in the recent memory. Bit of a special moment for a lot of these players. Alan Forsyth talked about it this week, how it's great to play in front of friends and family.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant for the players. It's also brilliant for the youngsters coming through in Glasgow and beyond, to see this level of hockey being played in Scotland. So fantastic to have a facility in the West, and it's been well maintained and certainly well used.
Underway for the second period. Here's Will Marshall. Talked about his experience with all the caps. McIntyre to Wong. Thrashed that a little bit there, looking for Cosgrove.
Yeah, Willie Marshall's a great player to have, because whilst he has the odd pass that goes a wee bit astray, he's got that. He goes more for reward than the kind of risk side of it. So he will take that big pass now and then, and so it can be a real good attacking threat coming out of defence. It's just finding that balance, I suppose, in terms of finding your own stick rather than the opposition's, but someone to watch.
Laurie Belanger. Going across. Charlie, that wasn't the best, and McIntyre with the break support out wide coming.
That's
nice
lovely
exchange
interplay.
of pass. Was there a block or a shove? No, says the umpires.
Yeah, another, again, Gavin Byers involved in a nice wee 1-2 exchange, and I think just his momentum, a wee clip there, and that was enough to take him over, using his pace. But again, positive signs for Scotland, although they seem to be doing a wee bit more running than the French, so that may take its toll as the half goes on. Bit of a waste there by Riddle. Good idea, but just didn't quite execute.
Charlie across. He'll get this one back. Forward it goes to Ginstedt. Burrowed back for Belanger. Peters Utes.
Yeah, it's quite a contrast. France really patient in the build-up. Scotland tend to be a wee bit more quick to attack, so quite interesting to see if the Scottish defence can remain patient.
Belanger trying to wriggle through.
Yeah, the French player are judged to have just used the stick there to illegally block the Scottish defender, so good umpire and good spot. It'd be good to see the Scottish just play the ball around the back here, get their shape, and make the French do some running.
Now switch for Fraser to rattle forward. Forsyth in there in the D, Bain too. Forsyth trying to keep it alive. And in the end it doesn't really come to anything. Still rather cagey this. In the second quarter, played 4 minutes. Nothing really coming there.
I think we really need a goal to get the crowd behind Scotland and liven this affair up, although a good game nonetheless, good standards, good intensity.
Yeah, it's certainly at a very high pace, quick pace.
That's certainly an easy decision for the umpire there. Kenny Bain struck in the arm by the pass.
That's not dangerous, I don't know what is.
But it's nice to see him not rolling about the ground as if he'd been hit in the face like another sport that's very popular in the West.
Quite popular in France as well.
Yes, very. Doesn't always get credit for how brave some of the players are in hockey when they do get nasty hits.
I think it goes to Wong. Bremner forward. A little tug back on Fraser, so Fraser will have his Bain Fatson the take the free hit.
Now this is where Willie Marsh can be really dangerous. Great attacking threat coming out of defence, and normally there's a big pass at the end of it. Clever foul by the French, so just stopping him.
Marshall across to McIntyre. A lot of meat in that for Grassick, but they'd be able to keep it in play.
Yeah, good patience by Grassick there, that's what he's good at. Very good outcomes on the ball.
Marshall goes for the firer. Still alive in the D, and the stick came in, and it looked like it was Guillaume Durand, and that will be a penalty corner.
Yeah, that's classic Willie Marshall. I mean, he's got a fantastic, powerful hit. Keeping that flat's a difficult skill, and then Cammy Fraser obstructed when trying to win the ball. Very good decision by the umpire. Hopefully Scotland can do more with this penalty corner. First and disappointing. I'd like to see Kenny Bain have a go at the bottom right corner.
Waiting for someone to break the deadlock. So Gordon McIntyre to inject this.
The French player's broken early there, so makes life a wee bit easier for Scotland. Interesting to see if they change their tactics now. Yep, they're having a chat, so
John Lauren Kiefer is heading away to halfway, taking his time, taking all the stuff back off to get back to halfway. I don't know if that was a deliberate tactic. McIntyre will try again.
yep,
It's going to be Bain, and he's going to squirm away.
a good save by the keeper there. That's where Bain was practicing the warm-up, but comfortably saved by the big, tall French keeper.
Still with Scotland here, Forsyth trying to rattle it through the gap.
Umpire maybe a wee bit hasty there. Kerry Bain ready to pull the trigger. Forsyth on again, looking for some 3D skills. Just a wee bit too much there.
A quick calm down, lads, from umpires.
Derek Forsyth just asking his son to move the ball. I think that's right. I think sometimes the kind of star players get a wee bit guilty of hogging it, so if they could just shift it a wee bit more, otherwise it becomes far too easy for the French defence to predict what they're going to do. But when you're as lethal as Alan Forsyth, you can't blame him for keeping hold sometimes.
Change state forward. That one's heading into the field. Far too much venom on it.
Yeah, France quite quiet so far in this quarter, all Scotland. Really need to take advantage of this possession and territory as they push into the attacking half. Lots of room on the right here if Willie Marsh can find David Forsyth, and he does. Playing his hockey in Holland, I believe.
Forsyth with Quevive, but France are very much on the sensei in this move.
Oh, hard done by for Willie Marshall there. Very hard done by. Looked like a good tackle coming up off the French stick, but the umpire's seen it differently.
Scotland players, Marshall, one of those straight across to have a chat, but decision made.
I suppose you could say c'est la vie when it comes to these decisions. I wish I'd adopted that attitude in life, but I could see why Willie was maybe a wee bit perturbed by that.
Chris Grassick furthering up the conversation.
It's just frustrating when you feel that you have been hard done by and it leads to something so critical as a penalty corner. If we had appeals, I suppose we could have gone to a video referral and the correct decision may have been arrived at, but we don't, so they just have to go on with it and hope that they get the luck of the bounce later.
Same with Martin Brissac. The injection here. Charlie with the strike, another penalty corner coming. You're wincing your face to that.
It's just it's such good corner defence, and then because the ball's popped up, they've got to face it again. It's just a wee bit disheartening for them. You know, you're putting your body in the line. You've got 0.1 of a second, 0.2 of a second to react, and you have to face it all again. It's pretty tough.
And Martin Brissac once more. Same routine with Charlie. Does score them from penalty corners, but not on that occasion.
Lovely split step by the keeper there. He's been lively. He's been excellent so far.
French still have it in their path. Good interlinking passing. Wriggles through for Lee Morton, who will try and clear for Scotland. Six minutes to half time. Remains goalless here. Charlie switching it, across it goes from Forges. Turn from Martin Brissac. Continuing his way. Just stopped as he was heading into the D.
I think both teams could be fairly content with their start. Possibly Scotland coach a wee bit happier. And as we said earlier, draw's not the end of the world for either team, given it's the opening game. But wonder who'll gamble first and push something more into attack. Lovely vision there. Big switch left to right.
Charlie smashed off the legs of Byers, but forward goes Martin Brissac. Just off the baseline, I think. It's going to be a...
Byers getting pulled up. Quite unfortunate because he knew nothing about it. He turned his back, just stuck his stick out, and I think it just hit the back of the stick, so that's why he's been given the green for a 2-minute breather.
Yeah, I was going to say it seemed a little bit unfortunate because he just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but may well have stopped something, you never know, but a couple of minutes.
But again, great discipline shown by the players. They take the green, they get off, they get on with it because the time doesn't start until they're on the seat, so they'll let their team down if they take their time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good by Scotland here. Cosgrove on the ball. Lovely reverse pass up to Grasic.
Here he is now.
Wonderful
Lovely
interplay.
For Jamie Wong. Chance here. Can he get it away? Well, maybe a bit of obstruction there.
Good to hear the crowd getting behind them there. A wee bit of controversy. Maybe the French holding up that move. Scotland really need the crowd now. Take advantage.
Forges with the switch across the field. Goy forwards. Baumgarten needing a bit of help. That's Goy once more. France starting to try and up it. Can they work a chance for themselves? Certainly trying to weave something into the deep. Didn't quite work out for them.
Yeah, the French certainly more structured in their attacks. Great patience, just waiting for that link up the forward to take advantage of it. I think they'll last longer in the game in terms of their efficiency in the ball. Scotland maybe a wee bit more frantic as they attack, with Riddle on the right hand side here.
Nice move, nice play, and slid away. Bayer just going to show a green card in the middle of all that move. Gaspar Baumgarten is going to have his couple of minutes. Scotland back up to 11. A bit of a busy last couple of minutes or so. With just a couple of minutes left in this quarter and to the half-time break. So the space required for home side. French trying to put up the resistance. Slightly illegally from Forges.
What the French have been good at is breaking down attacks. They've limited Scotland's chances with a very busy D. So good discipline there if they can maintain that. Again, breaking up play nice outside the D. Good block with the defender.
Quick with the ball, and ball went flying.
Yeah, aside from the crowd there, as it just missed a nice shiny BMW, I think. So Scottish Hockey will be chuffed at that in terms of their insurance. So every French player in the defence.
Oh, it's a good ball, and it's Kenny Bain! And there is the opener, quick as a flash. Kenny Bain celebrates, and with just under 90 seconds to half-time, the goal for Scotland.
Yeah, very clever disguised pass. Jamie Wong picked up the ball, eyes towards the halfway line, put the French defenders off, and then slides it straight to the penalty spot. So very clever pass and a neat finish by Kenny Bain, doing what he does best. Interesting to see how the French respond now. They've probably had not had as much of this quarter as they would have liked, so I think Scotland will push now, knowing Derek Forsyth. Scotland will push hard for the next minute and a half, trying to get a second. So the French will need to be on guard.
Well, if you're wanting the perfect way to end a head into a half-time break, that is that from Kenny Bain. France will need to, I guess, take the half-time break to their advantage, because they've been a little bit more cumbersome, but their side, remember, highest ranked here.
Yeah, I think they'll find their feet as the match goes on, but just a bit conservative at the moment.
Anderson this time trying to get it across into the D.
Yeah, umpire just adjudging that he hit the backside of the stick there, as you can tell by the bounce of the ball, so a bit disappointing for him. But crowd just acknowledging the Kenny Bain goal there. French don't seem to have panicked, back to their shape, spreading the ball about, using the pitch, making it nice and big, and making Scotland do a lot of running. I've been really impressed by the French 22 Charlet, very good at spreading the ball about, good vision, very composed in the ball. Orchestrating a lot there, forward play.
Durant now thought, is there maybe a sucker punch right at the very end? Marshall, no nonsense. France may well just have to take the half-time break and try and regroup, because they are behind here, the French. Scotland hitting the front right towards the end of that second quarter through Kenny Bain. A lovely ball for Bain to finish. France know how good they are. I'm sure there will be a response in the second half. Let's have a little refresh of what we've just seen so far. And it was the French who had a terrific first quarter, trying to pick out a few of these chances here. The French really started well. Yeah,
I think hindsight, if they look back at this game and they were to lose it, they'd be disappointed, because the chances were good chances, and that certainly with the strikes could have been better. Similarly for Scotland though, hitting the ball to the keeper rather than making the keeper make a good save.
This was a rare chance Scotland had early on. And then the second quarter, that's where things started to develop for Scotland, but still been a fairly open game. Another one of those hit and hope ones into the D. Hope you can find someone. Under the penalty corners, no, you mentioned the Scotland penalty corners have been a bit scratched. The French had a go themselves from a penalty corner. They got two in that situation. They got another one after. Again, it was well saved, but
yeah, it was a good save.
Good effort.
Yeah, the
keeper Charlie.
Lineman had it covered as well, so a wee bit of height would have helped them there.
And towards the end of the second period, this goal.
It's a wonderful pass. I mean, that is the key to that goal. The pass is wrong-footed to defence. Kerry Baines alert to it, 1-0.
Well, Cap 156, not bad at all. A goal against France, but there's still plenty of time left for both sides. French, I'm sure, will ramp things up in the third quarter. But for the moment, we'll take a pause. At the break, it's France 0, Scotland 1. Welcome back. We're almost ready for the second half in this final game of the day here in Glasgow. It's been a busy all day since the first game at 11:45 this morning. And this is the second game in Pool A. Scotland with advantage, but we know how good this French side are. And we thoroughly expect up-tempo, like how they played in the first quarter. Alan Meikle, Hellhead player, is alongside himself, Callum Patterson. Thanks for joining us on our live coverage, wherever you're watching. And hopefully we might see a bit more ramped up. We've got a goal now, so I guess the cage fear, Alan, has to go out the window a little bit, especially for France.
Yeah, I would think so. I still think they'll be fairly cautious for this quarter. I think they'll just eat away at Scotland, try and keep them moving, and let the gaps appear through good play rather than forcing it. Because the danger is if they force it, they'll get countered. I fancy Scotland, if they were to get a second goal, to be a difficult nut to crack, because it will change the whole approach to the game. But we know how dangerous France can be.
Morton with the ball in, and Kenny Bain was straight up, hands in the air, looking for a penalty corner. It has been given against Victor Charlie, the captain of France. A rare moment from him, because he's been very good so far, Charlie.
Yeah, massive opportunity for Scotland to take a double their advantage so early on in the half. There seemed to be quite a bit of space in the last corner at the left-hand side, although that was against a three-man running defence. So I think it would be the same as normal, just a nice flick off the top. French keeper looks fairly competent though, so they need to do something pretty special to beat him.
McIntyre to inject here.
An early break there, and he knows it.
Etienne Taineves, the 18-year-old, not happy.
And this is what I was alluding to earlier, the corner where this happened in the second quarter. There was a massive gap on the left-hand side of Scotland to switch it towards. I think it's Alan Forsyth, but it's rarely done nowadays, but it'd be good to see.
Goes to Wong. Morton, right across the face of goal, and away past the baseline.
It's very, very rare to see an injection not hit the target. That could have been a lot to do with how important that opportunity was, just playing in his mind there. That's disappointing. Big opportunity missed there.
If you're of a French persuasion, you're relieved, including Charlie, who gave away penalty corner, and as well Taineves, who sent away from the move.
Yeah, that's the thing about missing chances like that. I mean, it just gives the French that added boost, and just keeps the lead just down to 1, so that'll give them a right boost as they push forward. Again, very patient coming out the back here. Sweeper just taking his time, scanning the pitch. There's no panic by the French. They know they've got goals in them. It's just a matter of time before they begin to threaten again. Scotland equally as disciplined though. Sitting at about 60 press.
Charlie across then for Ginstead. Won back by Scotland, and it was Morton who stole it away.
I think the umpire may have got that one wrong. I think it was a Scotland foot. French will be disappointed there, but good discipline, accepting the umpire's decision.
One for Grasic, maybe a little loose.
Well, here
Martin
we go, French chance.
There. Big moment for him. Chance take 2. And it was trying to get helped on its way by Peter van Straten. It's a quiet game so far, a big player for France, but didn't work out. But still with the French. Francois Goy trying to keep it, he has it, but
yeah, dangerous times there. But looked like a wonderful reflex save by the Scotland keeper, but good attacking play by France.
I think Chris Grasic.
The French number 3, I think, getting a green for pushing.
I thought Grasic was going to get a green just for yapping away, talking away to the referee, but the umpire, I should say, and instead it's a bit argy-bargy, which has cost France and Van Straten a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think that should be a bit of a shot in the arm for Scotland. France are by no means out this game, and it only takes a matter of seconds to concede, so they need to really sharpen up now. Good by France, who started this quarter really well.
Peters Jewett now. Switch for Lockwood. Lockwood twists, turns. Again, not too many in blue there, only Tynevez.
Oh, nearly a potential disaster for Scotland there. They thought it was their ball, so went ahead with their subs, and nearly get caught with only 8 men defending the D, so that was a bit heart in the mouth there.
Victor Lockwood.
Good by the French there, nice and direct.
Trying to maintain the pressure.
Yeah, this very different pattern to this quarter so far. The French have really stepped it up, a lot more of their players in the attacking quarter. Scotland getting forced deep and not really seen much of the ball. Great penetrating run there, but dealt with nicely by Grasic.
Jean-Baptiste Forget is not happy with the little coming together.
Umpires disagree, no, but it looks like the umpire in the balls half has got the upper hand with that one.
Umpires are Eduardo Lozano of Spain and Nick Bennett of England.
Umpires have been impressive in all the matches so far, keeping a lot of control of the games and allowing the game to flow and for the spectators to see fast running hockey.
Francois Goye gets it back here, lovely interchange with Tynevez.
Yeah, a bit of a French swagger now, a lot of good running off the ball, some good understanding, good linking. Scotland really need to just get on the ball and keep it and frustrate the French.
Charlie, space coming. I thought they might have went for the route. Baumgarten with the 14 on his back was making a good run down that channel, but instead tried to find Tynevez, who was in the fringe of the D.
Yeah, a very, very searching ball by the big sweeper, just the bounce, eluding the Baumgarten. Nice touch up the line by Riddle.
Bain tried to help it on its way. Curty. Charlie. Dumont. Lockwood was given a shout. Dumont switched side to provide an option. Trying to take on McIntyre. Switch from Durant. Turn for Kieferez. Body is lurking and the penalty corner is signalled.
Yeah, that was born out of good French patience. They got the ball on the attacking left-hand side and brought it all the way out, switched the play to the right, where all the space was, and it was a fairly straightforward corner for the umpire to award in the end. That's what impresses me the most about the French. They're not panicking, they're sticking to their game plan. They know that through time they'll create chances and aren't reverting to a plan B or a plan C.
Dumont and with the injection here for the French, looking to get the equaliser. There's Charlie, and comes to nothing.
Brilliant defence here by Russell Anderson, really brave, charging it down, managed to get a stick on it, how I don't know, but that's selfless running for his team there. Again, French will be disappointed at that. It's a big opportunity.
Charlie to Forges. Baumgarten. Dumont. Durant and
lovely layoff there.
Play. Baumgarten getting in, just running by the baseline.
Yeah, the French just up in the ante here. I think it's wave after wave of attack. I think Derek was we're getting a wee bit anxious at the side. Scotland need to come up with some kind of a strategy to limit this, because it's a matter of time before the French break the deadlock, I think.
And it would be deserved the way the play has been so far in this quarter.
I think it's fair to say in the 40 minutes or so we've watched, this has been the most dominant play by any of the teams. Scotland have barely been on the ball, so the next 7 minutes will be very telling in terms of where the 3 points go.
Or 1 point apiece, you never know.
Yeah, and again, that wouldn't be the end of the world for either team.
Lockwood for Jez. Lockwood. Scrap.
Good harrying by Bain there, got a couple of good touches on it, just stopping that attack.
Nice wriggle room there, Lockwood.
Oh, wonderful skills. He turned Bremner inside out there.
Lockwood plays for Louvain in Belgium. 74th cap.
And not a particularly French sounding surname. I wonder if there's maybe a bit of maybe Australian, New Zealand, unusual surname, but Victor does sound fairly French though. Scotland finally on the ball, but then very quickly.
Classic, winning that back in a flash.
They were going to have a rest. Yep.
A
2
break
minutes
for that, though.
Probably quite a good break up though. I mean, robbed of the ball. I think he saw the danger. Maybe a cynical win. Yeah, Scotland, they just won the ball back. That was a rare chance for Scotland to get possession, and then immediately the French were onto them. So Scotland really need to start shifting the ball, getting their key playmakers on it, and just steady this ship. But as of yet, no real great opportunities other than the penalty corner for all this French play. That should be a source of frustration, I'm sure.
Point of instruction, I'm sure, from Gail Foulard. Certainly, it still seems as you're talking about a calmness about the French play, even from the sidelines. Not feeling the need to rush yet. Taken on though now for Scotland by Lee Morton.
Now this is what you want to see Lee Morton doing. You want to see him with the ball running at people, because he is just one of the most exciting prospects in the game. It's wonderful.
Look at this.
Free-flowing running.
McIntyre head, and it is a goal, and it is. Oh, for side. It is though an absolute brilliant team goal, and in a quick of the flash, France have dominated this quarter and they have been punished big time.
A tremendous goal. I mean, Lee Morton got the ball halfway line, jinked past a couple, lovely crossfield pass to Gordon Macker, and then a beautiful layoff. I mean, it's sensational 2v1 hockey. A goal made in the West. Kelburn to a Greenock original, and then Greenock back to another Kelburn player. Superb.
Those watching us from out with Scottish, British shores, some big names in Scottish club hockey. But that is a smash and grab goal there, and the French must be thinking, why on earth, how on earth are we too adrift?
I think when we talk about the game and how mental factors are so important, that is a sucker punch for the French, because they have been by far the better team in this quarter and have got nothing out of it, and now Scotland have got up the other end and out of nothing, have doubled their advantage. So big advantage to Scotland here.
Now here's Dumont though, and some last ditch defending, and it was a great strike. Martin Bressac with it, and it's going to go against the French in the end, but that was almost a very quick reply.
Oh, I think that's a save off the keeper. I mean, as good as Scotland's goals have been, they say defence wins games, and if Scotland defend like that, they're going to be very hard for the French to break down. We've talked about the goal by the Portuguese being goal of the season. That could be save of the tournament so far, if that's a save. But again, the French are on the ball. They're not holding back here now. He's not really get any choice.
Goye. Peter Van Straten supports on that channel. Taken though by David Forsyth.
It'll be interesting to see if the French now abandon their patient approach and have to throw caution to the wind. I think I would say so, but we'll see.
Durant to be able to get it back down to the French. 3 minutes left of this quarter.
Yeah, the Scottish quite happy to sit deep, sitting at half court, easily snuffing out those French passes. Grasic, a wee bit cheap in the ball there, giving away possession. Yeah,
it could be dangerous here. France trying to get it, they will have it.
I think the French coach will be pretty desperate for his team to get on the score sheet in this quarter, otherwise he could be facing a proverbial park bus in the final quarter as Scotland defend their lead.
Lockwood. Hitting hop on, almost came through. Jinstedt. And it come off, I think, must have came off a body part of, looks like McIntyre. He was first to protest, but they have got a chance here, just over a couple of minutes left.
Yeah, I think it's possibly a wee bit tough. The ball coming off the keeper, hard for the keeper to control. I don't think it's necessarily a body part, it's more danger. They try and prevent players coming in swinging at waist height. I think if I was a defender, I'd be a wee bit disappointed because I thought it was still safe enough for somebody to control. But as we said earlier, these things balance themselves out.
So a chance for France to try and get themselves on the board. Nicolas Dumont.
I can't overplay how important it is that Scotland keep this out, and how important this would be for France indeed to open their scoring.
Jinstedt looks like he could be the favourite, and it's trickled away wide. Not the best at all. They've not had the best of luck from penalty corners, France. Not really executed anything of high quality, but they do still have possession.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of poor execution and really good Scottish defence. I think if they review the game, they'll certainly look at that as an area that they have to improve as the tournament goes on. But again, back to that patient play.
That could have went anywhere. Bounced off Riddle.
Good calm play by Wong there coming out. Again, French are a wee bit short at the back now as they chase the game. But Scotland quite content just to sit back, which will be frustrating for the French.
Back with Forges, 90 seconds. Lockwood now. Nice thready pass here. Curty to the left is going to pick up. Curty driving, and they've got themselves another penalty corner. Pick yourself if you think that came off. I think it may have been David Forsyth, but it could have been a couple of them in there that it rattled off.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a slip or, but I think it just played into his body, which is a wee bit unfortunate if it's been a slip. You would think with the law of averages, talk about trying to convert maybe 1 in 3, 2 in 3 corners. So by law of averages, this should be time for a goal, but see how the Scottish defence stands up to it.
A bit of a different regime. Martin Bressac across Jinstedt, and it's going to be another penalty corner.
Yeah, the French a bit disappointed, umpire blew because he was about Lockwood. I think was in line for a shot at goal there, but another corner it is.
So, Simon Martin Bressac again. Instead, it's over and high.
Yeah, that's extremely disappointing. That wasn't even near the target. Keeper comfortable. That must be 5-6 corners the French have now not taken advantage of. So
Hugo Jinstedt, one of the linchpins on this side. 25 years of age and 121 caps now, including tonight. Plays his club hockey for Saint-Germain. Now at the other end, Scotland just trying to tick down the clock to the end of the third quarter.
I can see a crash ball coming in here when the clock gets to 5 or so seconds.
Atkins.
But nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Control from Anderson. Alan Forsyth, and there is the crash ball. There is the end of the quarter. Scotland with a 2-0 lead. And well, such a surprising goal in the way the balance of play was in the third period. But Alan Forsyth getting it, and it was a wonderful team move. And France have got big work to get themselves back into this, and at least maybe pick up a point in the table, try and get a draw out of it.
Yeah.
So let's have a little look at this.
That was the corner that broke down with a pool injection. That was a big chance with 3 defenders and a keeper.
France huffed and they puffed throughout the quarter. Save there coming in, very excellent save from Alexander. And maybe this is one area France has been a bit weaker maybe than what they're up to their usual standards. Haven't quite found the right moment in the penalty corner, but this is the break. Such a great goal.
Yeah, just a moment of magic. You've had the brilliance of Alexander in goals, and then a sublime moment by Lee Morton. The difference between the two sides. I think if we were to look at the stats, I think the Scottish keepers made double figure saves, whereas the French keepers maybe made a handful. So it's a cruel game sometimes. But I think all France need is one goal and they're back in this game, and then suddenly a wee bit of doubt might creep into the Scottish players. Killer doubt. So the next 15 minutes will be fascinating.
So 2-0 it is here. It's been a cracking day across the board. Wins for Russia, for Wales and Ukraine. France, the top seeds here, relegated from the top tier last year, have got 15 minutes to save the start of their campaign, or they may well be on a catch-up mission all week in this group phase. Morton then finds Bremner and Scotland. Well, situation for them where they're comfortable for now, but France, if they launch like they did in the third quarter and get themselves a goal, it could well be a rather exciting ending.
Oh, what a pick by Cammy Fraser.
Fraser did so well. Kenny Bain with the turn, and it's saved. Oh. And it's went the other way. Kenny Bain nearly made it 3 there.
Yeah, the keeper did well, got out quickly to Bain there, but that was a fantastic pick in the air by Cammy Fraser, similar to the skill stroke the Ukraine player earlier against Portugal. I'm interested to see how Scotland approach this. I mean, they'll be more than content to keep the ball, but quite often that invites pressure, so they often say the best form of defence is attack. So we'll see if Forsyth maintains his attacking style of hockey.
Durant support down that side. Without Thom Marshall. Such experience head, and Chris Grasick back with it. Bremner 2 around. Lee Morton trying to go in one of those runs again.
Again, the French aren't pressing the panic button quite yet, although that pass doesn't help in their build-up. They just look a wee bit despondent at the moment. Not a lot of fight in them, but maybe just adjusting to the new surroundings and a different pitch.
Morton, not a lot of space, but making the space himself. Just making the space himself.
Tremendous 3D skills and elimination skills by Morton again, just unable to find a pass in the D, much to Coach Forsyth's frustration.
Atkins. Bain keeps it in. And tracked back by Lazia Rogier.
So it seems like Scotland are going for the jugular. They're certainly not sitting back, which is probably the correct approach. Looking to kill the game off with a third.
Long down that line. Guy Fraser needed a bit of help, did find it. Chance in a hurry and a rush to get us back and get it up the other side.
Oh, lovely play by France, great vision.
Good space for Victor Lockwood. In step with the pass initially. He might get this back here and does from Curtie.
No, he's been impressive.
Absolutely superb. Just run out of space in the end.
Scotland back in really good numbers though and snuffing out that attack.
Byers went half the way and couldn't quite link it up with Alan Forsyth.
It's just a couple of passes, Baines just rushed a bit, you know, just take it half a second extra and I think he could have really put France under some pressure.
Deronton, Forges.
So every French player now in the attacking half as their sweeper steps through, so they're really going for it now.
Dumont need to get at least one. Oh, a shove. And that changes the complexion. Chris Grassick straight to the umpire. What do you make of that?
From my point of view, it was a coming together. I don't think it was a deliberate shove. I think the ball was gone when the player went into the French, Scottish player went into the French attacker. But the umpire probably had a slightly different perspective on it. Obviously, we've got the beauty of replay, but it just looked a bit clumsy. I thought the ball was gone when the umpire's perceived foul occurred. But such is life.
Hugo Ginstett then, it's a penalty stroke, and big moment here for France with 10.5 minutes left. This to get them on the board and a chance to get them back. Oh, it's well saved. Thomas Alexander's had a stunning game. Celebration as if he scored a goal, and France has just not been their evening so far.
He's been outstanding. It's one of the best goalkeeping performances I've seen in a long time. Wonderful reactions. The flick could have been a wee bit wider, absolutely, but world class. And how lucky are Scotland to have him?
Well, Ginstett's been superb for France this game as well. One of the few players that's shone through despite them being behind, but they're still needing 2 goals. Here is Ginstett trying to work the way through. Dumont. Lockwood. A firer. Didn't come to anyone in blue. Well, you did talk about, I think it was the previous game you mentioned about from penalty strokes. Obviously, Ukraine had a couple, how it's difficult these days for keepers to save penalty strokes. There is one of the rare moments. Yeah,
I mean, you never know how much keepers know about it. You ultimately have to make yourself as big as you can. Try and look at the penalty taker's feet to try and guess where they're going, but it's just terrific reflexes. That's what they train hard for.
Now at the other end, it's Alan Forsyth. Oh, it's just behind everyone in and around the D, but that was a little bit dangerous from Gavin Byers. Trying to funnel it back towards the circle.
Yeah, I just heard Derek Forsyth speaking to his subs bench, just urging them to keep the ball. He feels that the Scotland side are just maybe a wee bit haphazard in possession. And he's right. I mean, if you've got the ball, it's very hard for your opposition, but the French still pushing forward with the very elusive number 7 on the ball.
Yeah, Hugo Ginstett trying to repay the damage of the penalty. Dumont out wide. Another firer in. back, not quite for Scotland side. Riddle was trying to claim it now. Up the other side, Martin Bresack now looking for a bit of inspiration. To get one, I think you could sense a real siege and a real blast forward.
Yeah, I think Scotland are invited a bit of pressure when we've a couple of meaningful attacks that they've just gifted to the French rather than just keeping possession and running the clock down. The French may be finding their feet a wee bit too late in the game, although all it takes is a split second to be back in the game.
Lockwood across, and it is a goal. And it is one back, and there is the moment. This is going to be a grandstand finish.
I think that was commentator's curse there, that split second.
Martin Bresack has been very influential, taking a couple of the penalty corners, but this time from open play, firing in. So 2-1, and could be 100 miles per hour this. Atkins now for Scotland.
Oh, wonderful skills, one-handed, shielding the ball.
Ty Neves
50
taking
metre.
on Wong, ran half the field. Lockwood, I did say if they got one, I think there'd be a real confidence they'd go and get a second, they would take that.
Yeah, you can see the body language, very animated, a lot of energy, and Scotland looking a wee bit weary now. It's amazing what a goal can do.
Forward, wriggle through Ty Neves. Oh, and it slid through, and waiting there was Martin Bresack again if required. Peters Jutes. Forges.
Great defence work by Bremner there. Chance for Scotland just to keep the ball, but again, throwing it away, that's 3 or 4 times now.
Bain has won it back though, and now could be a break on here. Bain gets it back from McIntyre. I actually wondered if they'd go left because there was 1 or 2 coming that way, but it continues with Bremner. Oh, there's a spell, not quite for McIntyre. France trying to have 3 or 4 minds in one there. They're trying to attack to get in the goal, but they're having to come back and defend, all going off here.
Yeah, that's a difficulty. When you chase a game, you have to take that risk, but Scotland just a wee bit cheap with the ball. Don't need to rush their attacks, but playing into the French hands to some extent, rather than just making them do all the running. Just over 5 minutes to play here. I think French looking a wee bit more energetic. Scotland just have to regain their composure and play keep ball.
Corner goes for Baumgarten, just running to Grasic. Morton. Arm out in the direction of Scotland. I'll tell you what, it's been a while. It's been a day where we've had 4 games in the one day, and there's been 4 terrific games, really different qualities and such like.
Yeah, it's been a treat. I mean, classic. If you look at 3 of the 4 results have been decided by 1 goal, other than the Ukraine game, so very, very competitive and an exceptionally high standard of hockey, played at an incredible pace. And whether the French win or lose this game, I've no doubt that we'll see them up in the top 2 places. They seem a classy outfit, maybe just up against a strong home crowd and a good Scotland showing.
They're always trying to play it forward. Probably a debate for another day about how do these sides that are kind of near the top 6-7 European sides can get themselves kind of on the same footing, so it's not quite the same. There always seems to be a yo-yo effect. The 2 teams promoted from the 2nd tier always seem to come back down. But that I guess that's a huge debate we could have sometime. But it's been the same for a while if you look at the recent history in the top tier and the 2nd tier. But some great sides on show here. And
Key thing, I suppose, maybe starting a squad from a very young age and keeping them together, as the French, as you alluded to, the French doing, and so that they're not having an older squad and having to rebuild every couple of years. So that may be key. Bigger pool as well and things like that. But France are kind of have been just about there, but just haven't quite made that tiny little nudge to be a secure side in the top tier. It also comes from the teams in the top tier are playing against better opposition more often, so it's a kind of catch-22. Just over 3 minutes left. Excitement, tension, everything here in Glasgow. This is just day 1 of this EuroHockey Championship 2. So the French performance has fairly stifled the Scottish crowd though, and they're very quiet at the moment, so Scotland could do with getting them going again by getting on the ball. Hugo Genstedt with support with Francois Goyer. Dumont skittles away off Van Straten, who certainly is one of those players that has been rather quiet today. It's one of the, I'd say, the French top players, along with like say Genstedt at the World League semi-final in Johannesburg. Obviously found it very difficult against, I said, a lot of those top tier sides, but he was one of those, but 2 or 3 others as well. And I've seen a couple of good performances in the French particularly. Talked about Genstedt despite the penalty stroke miss, or save I should say. Yeah, Genstedt's been a really exciting talent. His elimination skills are exciting, very fast hands and very direct runner. Just maybe a wee bit too deep at the moment though. Here is Genstedt trying to wriggle it through for Belanger, but no one there behind. A stoppage from the umpires. Okay, I think the French have taken their goalkeeper off, so they're going to 11 outfield players and putting a kicking back on. A keeper with an outfielder with goalkeeping privileges, as we like to call it. As Jamie Frail, a goalkeeper, has said, Peters Dutz is going to take that honour. Do you think it's a surprise? Because even if France lose, there's a good chance, although it might be a harder semi-final, they'll be there if they play well. It's a slight surprise that they're maybe trying this. No, I think it's definitely worth going for a draw. Martin Bessac trying to rattle it, but again, arm out the other direction. It's definitely worth a gamble, because if they get the one more goal they need to get the draw, then it comes down to 2 wins against Ukraine and Portugal, assuming they can get them in goal difference. So absolutely, the extra outfield player can make all the difference. I think it's always good to try and concede. If you concede a goal whilst trying to score a goal, you can kind of understand that that was a risk you have to take. But it's important now that France, having got an extra player, push high, otherwise it's a completely wasted tactic. Baumgarten in support, and Goyer, is it going to come? It's going to slide away on his knees on the floor. Rory Belanger, just in case, trying to slide out and try and take it. Yeah, good pressure by Grasek there, right off the shoulder. If he hadn't been there, that would have been potentially quite an easy tap in. So nervy times for Scotland. Umpire stopping things again. Kenny Bain having a chat this time. We're just under a minute to play here, so Scotland are sensible, they can see this game out. Back with France though. Martin Bessac, and now it's going to be a yellow card. Well, not by 5 minutes because there's not that much time left, but Grasek has been lively. Green card, now yellow card. That's a clever card. I mean, the danger was there. 38 seconds to go, 5-minute yellow. Good experience there by the captain. Scotland have set their defence now. Lockwood across. Genstedt. So the firing straight in, goes wide. It's not the best as it's taken by Morton. And trying to play it down in the corner. Final 30 seconds in a pulsating game. Can Dumont maybe get it back? Great cover tackle there by Nick Parks. Crucial interception with 10 seconds left. No, someone needs to pressure here. Genstedt's going to try and fire it. Oh, it's going to be cleared away, and that could well be that. It's been a cracking game, but France, the top seeds, have they got a chance? That's it.
and it's game one, but it shows Willie Marshall straight up there with the fist bump. It's a huge win. If you look at the rankings, France have came back down into the second tier. The two sides in this group that will be looking to progress, but Scotland have made their mark and they've won the game by a couple of goals to one.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. I mean, from the first minute to the 60th minute there, France maybe feel a wee bit hard done by. They certainly created most of the chances, certainly from set plays, having missed the penalty stroke and all the penalty corners, but a typical gutsy Scottish performance. You can see how happy they are with that result. They absolutely realise the importance of that, and hopefully now both teams can back up good first performances against Portugal and Ukraine.
France, I think it's fair to say they probably weren't at their top level. I think if this might have been played later in the week, it could have been a different game, but these games can be close. But if you look at recent history in the World League, 3-1 France won. They also had a couple of goals to 0-1 as well in the round 2 phase, the group stage, then in the knockout phase. So it shows that Scotland don't beat France too often, certainly of late. And this French side, they've got this one out the way. They've got a couple of important games now. You fully expect them to join Scotland in the knockout rounds. Yeah, having seen Ukraine and Portugal, I think France may have too much for them. However, ultimately, if they continue being so reluctant or poor in front of goal, they'll struggle against any team. So they really need to get that sorted out. But yeah, they've certainly got the quality to progress to the semi-finals, given some good results. And I would hope to see both of them, both Scotland and France, in the final, because that'd be a thrilling replay. Well, there's a look back. Let's look back at the best action. Kenny Bain scoring for Scotland, and then Scotland went up the other way in a quarter where France were dominant, and a terrific team goal. Well, that's actually, looking at that in slow motion, that's a 6v3, six French defenders, 3 Scottish attackers. Moment of brilliance by Lee Morton. This was a big moment as well. France got a goal, but before this, a penalty stroke. You never know what happens. If that was 2-1, you don't know what happens to that. But that was still 2-0 because of that save. Oh, tremendous. I mean, that's a stick save. That's a 2-inch width of the stick. He gambled, picked the right way, and yeah, potential man of the match performance. He did score though, and he did make an exciting finish through Martin Bressac, but it wasn't enough for France, so they are going to have to play catch up and win their 2 games in the remainder of the group stage. But there's confirmation again. Kenny Bain, Alan Forsyth, the 2 goals, 2 important goals if you're a Scotland fan for France. It is work to do, and for this group, they've got a bit of a breather now because they don't play tomorrow. They'll be back on Tuesday. France play Ukraine, Scotland against Portugal. We'll be focusing on Group B tomorrow. There's a confirmation. A look at the results for today. Russia winning 3-2 against Switzerland in a good game. They've all been good games for different reasons. Wales edging out the Czech Republic. Ukraine kind of went a bit riot in the third quarter, but Portugal were terrific to watch. 7-2 win for Ukraine. And Scotland, who are getting a big cheer in front of the main stand here, beating France by a couple of goals to 1. So as I say, big focus ahead is going to be the Group B, and there is the look for tomorrow. Switzerland against Wales. It's a 4:15 start. We'll be on there just before then, and then it is the 6:30 game, Czech Republic against Russia. So just final thoughts of the day. Obviously you've been with us for the second 2 games, but I know you've been around for most of the day. What's your thoughts on today? 4 terrific games. Oh, excellent. Didn't miss the first game, but watched the 3 that followed. Exceptional skill level, wonderful sportsmanship by all the teams on show, really good officiating. So all in all, a fantastic day of hockey. Obviously, as a Scot, it was good to see Scotland get that much needed win, but I would certainly not count France out. There's nothing to stop them coming back and winning the whole tournament based on some of their play towards the end. And big motto of the day, jokingly, in jest, world rankings don't really matter in this sort of stage because anyone can beat each other. It's so close. A lot of these teams, you can throw a blanket over them. Yeah, the margins between winning and losing in hockey are incredible, and the inability to put the ball in the back of the net at set plays can be very costly, as France found out, and Scotland took their chances. So that is for all the viewers out there, probably the key. Take your chances and you can win some games. Well, Anne, great to have your thought. I think we'll see you later in the week. I think Friday, I believe. So we'll see you then when we're into the business end of the tournament. Still some great stuff to come. But Alan, for today, thank you very much for joining us. And we'll leave you here for today. It's starting off just before 11:45 for us against Switzerland. We are at the end of a fantastic days with the hockey. 4 terrific games, wins for Russia, for Wales, for Ukraine and for Scotland. We'll be back with Pool B action from just before 4:15 tomorrow. But from all of us here, it's good evening from Glasgow.